Unix and Linux attacks, it's the quest for root. Root has all access. Only amateur sysadmins fail to lock down root. It's one of the most difficult things to get unless we can remotely access a vulnerable service. And we leverage that network service and get root access. That's our goal in a Unix or Linux attack. But when you encounter them, you only usually get in if the tool runs, the service that you exploit runs at root, then you get root, or the sysadministrator fails to lock down root. SendMail is one of our favorite programs to attack, so when you find it, it's had lots of bugs, so there's potential you can get in there. Or Bind, the Berkeley Internet Name Domain, which does your DNS, has had many bugs too. So either one of these, we potentially can break in and get access and get root. If you can't get root, you always have to try to escalate your privileges, but never underestimate any access, because in a red team environment, we're just trying to gain access, and we'll document, well, we didn't get root, but we got access, fix or mitigate the risk of an attacker maliciously getting that system or user level access. Network file system, NFS. If we find it, we have another present. We love getting presents. RPC info-Q will provide a dump of the file systems that can be exported. Show mount-E will show the exports in the file system. And once we have it, we just mount the directory and use NFS shell, and we manipulate the file system. This is the power of using Unix and Linux types of tools. You're familiar with all these. X Windows, it's all or nothing. Once access is granted, it's unchecked. Xscan will scan an entire subnet looking for an OpenX server. XLSWINS will return the window hex ID, and XKey is a keystroke logger that can read the keystrokes of a display. Again, most systems administrators will not have X Windows open remotely by any stretch of the imagination, but sometimes sysadmins get lazy and they want to remote across an X Windows, and when they do, our job as a red teamer is to find that. This brings us to the end of this chapter. In this chapter, we've identified methods of attack against servers. Remember, we love servers. Servers wait and wait for us to attack, which is perfect. We reviewed methods of covering tracks and hiding information. Remember, we talked about alternate data streams. We talked about using Atrib for the file attributes. We talked about obfuscation. We talked about slack space. And finally, we talked about steganography. And this concludes the chapter on attacking servers.